Hey y'all, welcome to my first ever YouTube video. My name is Tia. I am a 38-year-old wife, boy mom ×2, nurse practitioner, and small business owner. And about a year ago, I decided to get serious about my budgeting and debt payoff journey. Now, don't get me wrong, my bills were always paid, but I wasn't really focused on paying down the debt. Like I was just paying, like the minimum balances. I, of course, saved for if I knew I had a vacation coming, I would specifically save for that, but I never like proactively save towards things. But like I said, about a year ago, I got serious about my paying off my debt, trying to become debt free, and then just, saving and not just always having to worry about, oh, do I need to work an extra shift to pay for this? And then, just like having money in the bank just for when those things come up. So for today's video, we are going to recap my last paycheck because I do get paid tomorrow. So I want to recap my last paycheck and then do my budget for my next paycheck. So I have right here my Undated budget planner. This is a planner that I created. It is available and listed in my Etsy shop. But yeah, I created this planner because I just wanted something straight to the point. Like, I love this planner. It literally, let me go to a fresh one. It literally just has your undated monthly calendar. I get paid bi-weekly, so I have like the bi-weekly version. So mine only has 3 paycheck breakdowns, but if you get paid weekly, I have one that's available that has 5 paycheck breakdowns. So it just has these. Then it has like a little monthly recap, and then I also forgot in the front it has like a payment like due date tracker, so that way you can write down like the due dates, what the name is, the amount, and if it's on auto pay. So I had did this about maybe 2 weeks ago. So this is like my April budgeting calendar. And I like to like highlight each pay period. So this pay period right here, it looks like it's only 1 week, but it was from like the last week of March. So I like to highlight each pay period because it helps me to better see what's due in that pay period. Okay, so like I said, this is my last check from March 26th to April 8th. I'm just going to go ahead and bring everything over because what I budgeted was actually, what came out. So and these variable expenses, these are the cash that I keep in my wallet. So what I cash stuff. So I did not spend all of this money, but because I took it out in cash, I'm just going to say that I spent it. And whatever is usually left in my wallet at the end of each pay period, I usually put those into savings challenges. And when I did my last budget, I knew that this coming paycheck, the one that I'm getting tomorrow, I knew that there was a lot of things coming out of that paycheck. So I made sure that I allocated some money to roll over from my last paycheck to for this current paycheck, or for my next paycheck that I'm getting tomorrow. Like I said, I allocated money to roll over, so that way I knew that I had like a little extra wiggle room. So like I said, that's also why I like to do it like this, because I can, see, like I said, I had a couple things that were due at the end of March, but you can see like the beginning of April was pretty light, but then like the middle of April is where a lot of my bills come out. So like I said, I knew that this would be a heavier, debt and bill payment paycheck. So I made sure that I rolled over just an extra $250. And I do a zero-based budget. So, okay. So this will be the week of April 9th to April, and I'm not even sure, hold on. Okay, it's April 22nd. So my income, so like I said, I do get paid tomorrow, or April 9th, because I don't know when I'm going to put this video out. So I get paid April 9th, and we'll just say this check. And then like I said, I also had some rollover. So I anticipate that my check will be $3,800. And with my paycheck, I usually round down just to give myself like a buffer. So like I round down to $3,800 for this next paycheck, because the first paycheck of each month, my job takes out like the parking, like, because I have to pay for parking at my job. So they take out pre-tax money so that way I can get tickets to the parking lot. So I know that my first check of each month is usually a little bit lower than all the other checks. Okay. So in this column, it says bills and debt, but I usually, even within this, like to break it up like how I did right here. I like to like break it up to say like bills and then debt. So we will do bills first. So the first bill is the water bill. So that's $4.9 water, and that is, don't know why it's that much, but yeah. And then childcare, $400. Next bill coming out the 10th is my Kindle Unlimited. Can't live without that. Well, you know, I can, but I can't. Then we have my Prime membership. Next bill is gas for like the house, and that's $76.47. Next bill is Verizon. That's $104.15. Then we have Apple Music that day. That's $11.87. $11.87. Then we have, I put my car under a bill because it's not really debt because I lease. So I just count my car as a bill. So my car note, $737.31. Then we have T-Mobile, and that is $131.85. I need to see when it's going to come down. I think I'm still paying off my phone or something, but I need to check that out because that's too much money. Then that day we also have the iCloud storage. That's $9.99. Okay, so that's all for bills. And then debt, back on the 14th, we have Upgrade, which was a personal loan that I got a couple years ago. Kind of regret getting this, but it is what it is. But that payment is $591.21. And then next debt is my Discover card, and that will be $348. Okay, so like I said, these are bills, debt, and then I also like to calculate them separately because when I do my end of the month recap, I like to put how much I paid in bills, how much I paid in debt. So like I said, even though they're in the same category here, I usually separate them. So that's $349 plus $400, $79, $7 plus $37. Ooh, jeez. So total bills is $1,684.13. And then for debt, we have $939.21. So then for the total, I will add both of those together. Total debt and bill payments for this check is $123.34. So if we take my income, subtract that from this total, 2623.34, I have $1,426.66 left. So my variable expenses literally stay the same each and every check. The only thing that might change, I think I started putting like an extra $10 in gas and like an extra $100 in household, because household, that for me is like everything, like groceries, toilet paper, like basically anything for the household. My son's pull-ups, like all of that comes from the household budget. So for my variable expenses, we have gas, parking. Now this parking is like on the weekends at my job, I park in a different parking lot and I have to pay out of pocket for that one. So that's what this parking is, even though my job takes money out of my check each month for my one parking garage. But like I said, on the weekends, I park in a different garage. So that's what that parking is for. And then household, eating out, and then miscellaneous. My miscellaneous is kind of really like for overages, or if I like buy stuff from Amazon, but I usually like try to not to use this. Like I said, I now use that for like any overages that I have. Like last month or last paycheck, I think I put away $80 for gas, and my gas turned out being like 85 and some change. So I was able to pull money from miscellaneous to cover that. So for gas, we will put 80. Parking, I don't have anything. Household, 600. Eating out, 50. And miscellaneous, not 750. Oh my God, I did it again. It's supposed to be $75. So 80 plus 600 plus 50 plus 75. Total is 805. And subtract that from what was left down here. So 1426.66 minus 805. We have 621.66. So this remaining 621.66 I am going to put towards savings challenges and sinking funds. So for challenges, I'm going to allocate 300, and sinking funds is going to be 321. So 300 plus 321, 621. Subtract that, 621.66 minus 621, 66 cents left. So this is how I do my budget every paycheck. So then after I do this, I am going to do my like cash envelope breakdown sheet. This was the one from last week. So first category that I need it for is gas, and that's going to be $80. So I'll do 150, a 20, and a 10. Household, we will do 600, so I'll do 400s, 2 10s, and then 5 20s. Eating out is 50, so with that, we'll do a 20, 2 10s, 30, 40, 45, and then do 5 ones. And the miscellaneous is 75. So I will do 3 20s, a 60, 75. Okay, that's that. Next, I'm going to take money out for my challenges. So I want to stuff summer fun with 150. So I'll just do 150. Then my cruise control, I want to do 80. So we'll just do 420s. Then for furniture, because I want to get some new furniture for my deck, we'll just do 25, and that'll be 120 and 15. And then lastly, for challenges, we'll do my back to school. Yes, I'm already starting to save for back to school. And we'll do 45, and that'll be 2 20s and a 5. Next, sinking funds. Vacay will get 50, so we'll just do 150. My gift fund will get 25, so that'll be a 20 and a 5. And then emergency usually gets 75, so that'll be 50, 75. Car maintenance will get 50, so I'll just put 150, $150 bill. So me is like my savings. I'll put 30, and it'll be a 20 and a 10. And then the boys, that is my savings account for my 2 sons. I'll do 60, so I'll do a 50 and a 10. And vacay, wait, I actually had some money. I'm looking because I have it written down. So I had $31 left over, and I wanted to actually put that in vacation. So instead of 50 for vacation, this should be 81. So we'll do a 50, 60, 70, 80, 1. And then I'm just going to put this down here too, because for my child care, I have to take out 400. So we'll just do 400s. Let's add this up. So the total amount in cash that I need to get from the bank is $1,826. So then I have to go down and add up the bills. So 489, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I usually mess this up at least 3 times. So let's see if I can get this right the first time. 5, 8, 10, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 5, 6. So once I have this done, I then do my cash teller slip. So for bills, we have 9, so that's 900. 850 times 8 equals 20 times 21 equals 420. 10 times 7 is 70. 6 times 5 is 30. And 1 times 6 is 6. So let's add this up. Hopefully this all matches. Yes, it does. Okay, so like I said, I will take this little slip with me to the bank so that way I know how much money to take out. And that right there is my budget breakdown, how I do my budget, how I, use my calendar to figure out what's due, how I write it out, zero-based budget, do my cash envelope breakdown, and then do my teller slip. So stay tuned for my next video where I will be doing my cash counts, my wallet stuffings, and some sinking funds and savings challenge stuffings. So if this is your type of video, please make sure you like, subscribe, and also click the button to receive notifications. I am so happy that you are here with me. I'm so happy that you watched this video. And until next time, bye.